Hi there, welcome to another episode of Cafe Chat. I'm Chris Kavasik, health educator with the Brown County Public Health Division.
And I'm Meredith Hansen, resource specialist here at the Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC in Brown County. Got a great episode coming up today, don't we, Chris?
Yes, we do. Today we're going to be learning about healthy food with this spring and summer weather coming. It's going to be really important to think about what we can do to make our meals healthier.
And especially at a restaurant. Probably many of you are going to be visiting one if you have a graduation or a wedding or a family get-together in your future over the summer months. We want to make sure that if you get to a restaurant, you're still eating healthy, but the food is good too. Tasting good is always important.
And have you ever been in a restaurant and wondered, how safe is this place that I'm sitting in? We're actually going to have some sanitarians here that do the licensing and inspecting of restaurants, hotels, pools, special events like the farmers market and Fire Over the Fox, and they're going to show us what they do when they're in a kitchen, licensing and inspecting it to make sure that it's safe for us to eat food from and drink beverages in.
That is going to be a fascinating episode, so make sure you stay tuned to learn more about eating healthy in a restaurant in your community. To kick off this episode, we're going to be talking about something very familiar to all of us, and that's eating out at a restaurant. So we generally like to go out to eat because it's a great way to spend quality time with friends and family, plus bonus, we don't have to cook. However, if you're trying to follow a diet or you just want to eat a healthy, well-balanced meal, sometimes the menu options can be a little tricky. So with us today is nutrition and volunteer assistant here at ADRC, Abby Pannier. She's going to give us some easy and simple tricks to work your way through a menu so that eating out can still be fun and you can enjoy the food that you really like. So thanks for joining us, Abby.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So we have a lot of food here with us today, a lot of examples. So let's dive right on in.
Of course.
I don't know about you, but whenever I go out to eat, I always want to try something that I don't normally make at home or something that's probably a little unhealthy, like pasta. So if I want to order like this chicken Alfredo, how can I make that healthy?
Yeah, sure. So typically when we do order at restaurants, the portion sizes are so large. Sometimes they can even be a day's worth of our calories. So one thing that you can do is to share an entree. So here we do have an example of chicken Alfredo. So you can split it 3 different ways to get the right portion size. So typically it's about 1,500 calories and 94 grams of fat.
Oh my gosh.
So if you split it 3 separate ways, you can get 500 calories, which is about what you were supposed to have for a meal.
Okay.
Typically it's about $15 for this as well. So if you're splitting it, it'll be about $5 plus then tip and tax. So you're not only saving on calories, you're also saving on money as well.
Always a bonus too.
Yeah. So another thing you can do is try and eat slower. It takes about 20 minutes for your stomach to trigger your brain to let you know that you're satisfied and that you've had enough to eat. Another thing you can do is try and look for healthier options on the menu. You can try and look for things that are grilled, broiled, or steamed. They typically don't have that greasy coating like deep fried foods do. So you're saving calories that way as well.
So I can still get my pasta. Good.
Of course, yes.
So Abby, when I go out to eat, I can never eat a full portion. So can you tell me, how do I go about figuring that out when I'm in the restaurant and planning for that?
Sure, of course. So when you're ordering, just ask your server to box up half of your meal before it even comes to your table. So for example, here we have the pad thai. We have half of it boxed up to go, and then we have half of it right on your plate ready to eat. So that way you aren't tempted to just keep eating the whole portion.
See, and I would think that that plate was the full serving. I wouldn't even realize that I had another whole meal to eat.
Yep.
Great trick. Now, I always like the appetizers. I'm drawn to the French fries, cheese curds, all those kind of unhealthy things. How can I still get an appetizer, yet, again, make it healthy?
Of course. So you can always order the appetizer. It's great because it's a smaller portion. So you can still satisfy your craving for wings, say, for example, or cheese curds by ordering a small appetizer, but then also make it a meal by adding a side salad or add a cup of soup to it too. And then also make sure that you add the salad dressing to the side, because then you can control how much salad dressing you would like on your salad.
That's a good point. Okay, great tip.
Well, truth be told, I do have a sweet tooth, so I really can't
we
go
all?
without a dessert.
Yes, exactly.
So how can we make a dessert kind of healthier when we're faced with that
course.
situation?
And I know I always go for the ice cream. So here, for example, we have a gelato and a frozen yogurt. So those are healthier options instead of the ice cream. But be sure to watch your portion sizes because they do have a lot of sugar in them as well, too. You can also, we have these little individually wrapped chocolates. You can also bring those with you if you don't want to order a whole dessert.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
Good idea just to sneak in that little bit of chocolate
Definitely
at the
satisfy
end.
your sweet
Okay.
tooth, yes.
Great idea. Well, probably, Abby, not a lot of our viewers know that you can actually come down to ADRC right here and have lunch. And so if you're downtown around the noon hour, 11 to 12:30, Monday through Friday, we serve this meal. No reservations needed. It's a great way if you want to meet some friends for lunch or you're coming on down for a class or an event and you're getting a little hungry before or after. Let's talk about that meal and how can we make that healthy, or is it healthy already?
Of course, it is already healthy. So it is 1/3 of the recommended daily allowance. So it is already portioned out for you. You do get your protein, your starch, your vegetables, bread, dessert, and milk. So it is really a well-balanced meal.
It's huge.
It is.
A lot of food.
Yes, definitely. So if you are unable to come down to our dining site, we do have a homebound meal program, and you will get the same exact meal, but it will come in a tray right to your door. So it is a great option for those that cannot make it down.
So all the guesswork is taken out for you because it's already healthy.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Yes.
So as we were just talking about, if you'd like to come down here and get a meal, ADRC has a really exciting opportunity coming this summer. The Grounded Cafe is going to be opening, and we've got the aprons to prove it. And this cafe is just really all about little beans with big hearts. The mission is going to be to allow adults with disabilities the opportunity to get on-the-job training skills and experience. So your cup of joe is going to go a long way to making a big difference in our community.
So in our next segment, we're actually going to be going into Grounded Cafe to give you a behind-the-scenes preview as to what goes on to make sure that your cup of joe is safe. We're coming to you from Grounded Cafe here at the ADRC, and with us we have two public health sanitarians, Enum and Zach, and they're going to talk to us about what they do on a daily basis to license and inspect establishments. So can you tell us a little bit more about the role of a public health sanitarian?
Sure. So our biggest role in the public is to provide education to the public and business owners, such as restaurants, on preventative measures that they can take to reduce the occurrence of illness.
So you mentioned restaurants and business owners. What kind of places out in the community do you actually go and inspect?
So not only do we do food inspections, but we also go ahead and do a lot of inspections in gas stations, bars, taverns, hotels, motels, body acts, facilities, piercing places. We also inspect pools, swimming pools in the community. That includes YMCA and any other pool you can think of, even in assisted living homes. We also do inspect their pools just to make sure it is good and healthy for them to swim in. We do roughly about 2,000 inspections in a year. That is done by 7 staff.
Wow, so that's like 300 inspections a year for each sanitarian. That's just incredible, the number that you do in the community. Mm-hmm. So you mentioned the pool inspections with nursing homes and assisted livings. Sure. What about their food production?
Right, so their food production is actually inspected by the Department of Quality Assurance, which is under Department of Health Services, and that is a federal and state inspection.
Oh, okay, great.
So you talked about different types of establishments, but is everybody getting the same type of license, or are there special licenses for hotels versus restaurants or even school cafeterias?
You're exactly right. So we have a range of licenses from what Anam had said before of all the places that we inspect. There's pool licenses, there's temporary restaurant licenses, there are the regular brick and mortar restaurant licenses, and body art licenses, and a lot more.
So we're here in the kitchen of Grounded Cafe. And can you kind of tell us a little bit about what we're going to be doing next? Because it's not an official inspection, but we're going to see exactly what you guys do, right?
So when we go into an establishment, the first thing we do is safety, safety, safety. So for us and for whoever else is in the establishment. So for instance, if you are inspecting a restaurant like this or a cafe like this, first of all, you have to have a hairnet or a hair restraint in some way or form. So as you can see, we have ours on.
Yep.
And then the next thing you do is you wash your hands, hand washing, and then you put on gloves if you're going to touch food or anything like that. So in here, we're going to make sure we check the temp of foods, the temperature of equipments in here. We also check the dishwasher sanitizing, making sure that they're actually sanitizing the cookware and everything before they cook in them. And we also watch the employees to make sure that they are using the right PPEs before serving or touching ready-to-eat foods.
And can you tell us what PPE stands for?
It stands for personal protective equipment. So that's your gloves, your hairnets, and in case you need goggles, you have to have goggles. But in this case, the gloves and then the hairnets. That's what we
Perfect.
need.
All right,
Excellent.
let's get started.
Key element to food safety is making sure that employees are washing their hands correctly. So what we require is that they have a non-hand operated hand washing sink like you see here, and that employees are washing their hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds, and we want to make sure that that water is warm enough, at least 80 degrees to 110 degrees for hand washing. And we also like to observe that employees are washing their hands when required, such as when working with raw meat and then going to vegetables or anytime that they would change gloves. So one of the key elements to food safety is also making sure that the cooking utensils and plates that are used are properly sanitized. So what we have done is placed a temperature strip on some of the food contact surfaces that we placed in the dishwasher, and what that is going to tell us is if it changes color to a black color, that it has reached at least a rinse temperature of 180 degrees, and that also indicates that all food contact surfaces that were put in the dishwasher are now safe and sanitized. And another aspect of food safety is also making sure that our coolers and freezers are holding temperature. So what we require is that potentially hazardous foods that are kept in coolers are at least 41 degrees or below, and then for freezers we're looking for a temperature of 0 degrees, or that the product is frozen and remains frozen. So another aspect of our inspection includes taking food temperatures that are going to be served to the public. So what we're looking for is to make sure that hot foods are kept hot before service. So such as raw pork that would be cooked that's stuffed with some sort of stuffing would need to be cooked to 165 degrees, or chicken would also need to be cooked to 165 degrees. Anything that's ground meats, we're looking for a internal temperature of 155 degrees. And so things like pork and fish, we're looking for an internal temperature of 145 degrees, and as well as vegetables that are going to be kept hot, we want to make sure that they are reaching a temperature of 135 degrees.
You've done a lot of stuff in the kitchen today with us, and we really appreciate you being here. So how did things pan out?
So after our inspection, I'm pretty sure that you guys passed with flying colors.
Yay!
Always good to hear.
Well, thank you so much for coming and showing us exactly what you guys do.
Thank you.
No problem.
So now we're going to actually see how on an individual basis, when a cup of coffee is made, what process goes into making sure the equipment is clean and you're getting a very healthy cup of coffee. So with us is Mary Plogman, who is the Grounded Cafe lead, and she's going to do a demonstration of
our espresso machine. So it is asking me to start the cleaning process. So we take a little tablet, we drop it in the top, we hit the cleaning program, we need to empty the grounds container. I put the tablet in, and we're starting the cleaning process. So it takes about 4 minutes and 30 seconds for the machine to go through that tablet and clean all the insides of the espresso machine. So we'll be back in a little bit once it's clean to make a latte.
Perfect. Okay, Mary, so our machine is now clean, and you're going to demonstrate how to make a latte and how you properly clean the machine afterwards, correct?
Yeah. Exactly. So we're going to start with nice cold fresh milk. Just took this out of the fridge. I'm going to fill up my frothing pitcher. I'm going to set it underneath our steam wand. I am going to purge the steam wand a little bit just to make sure that there's no milk residue from the drink before. So then I'm going to put my fresh milk underneath. And then I'm going to steam the milk to a latte consistency. While that's steaming, I'm going to set my glass underneath, and I'm going to do a double shot of espresso. Now, we decided on this machine because it is has safety in mind. Everything is self-contained. It makes it espresso. There's not a separate grinder and tamper. It's all included in the machine. It's a very safe steaming wand. The milk is done, so I'm able to take the milk off, wipe down the steaming wand, purge it a little bit again so it's clean.
That is a lot of steam.
So it's clean of the milk that we just steamed. I'm going to combine the milk, the latte milk, with the espresso. And we have a beautiful latte.
That looks very tempting. Wonderful. And the nice thing that you were pointing out is that this machine is really brought in here with the adults with disabilities in mind that are going to be doing the job training here. So it's easy to read, explains everything that's going to be happening with the machine. So it makes it easy for them too to be able to put a great cup of coffee together, right?
Absolutely. It's safe for them, and it creates a consistency within the product. So you're going to be able to come in and get a really good latte made by anyone who's using this machine.
Awesome. So you heard it here. Come down at the Grounded Cafe this summer and get your own cup of coffee.
I don't know about you, but I am so excited to have my first cup of coffee from Grounded Cafe.
Oh, I know, Chris. Our viewers couldn't smell that wonderful latte. Thank you to Mary Plogman for making that and showing us. But those are the kind of things that you're going to be able to look forward to at the Grounded Cafe here at ADRC when we open this summer. So stay tuned.
And thanks to Zach and Enum from the health department who came to show us exactly what they do when they are in establishments licensing and inspecting.
I couldn't believe, Chris, just the sheer number of inspections that department does. And not only restaurants and bars, but all the different events that they're inspecting out in the community. It just really is a good feeling to know that when you go out and enjoy food here in Brown County, you can know that it's safe. You can be assured.
Exactly. You know, and I, for one, when I go out to eat now, I'm going to be thinking about my portion control and what I can eat and what I can take home and enjoy at another time.
Yes, thanks to Abby, our dietitian here at ADRC, who gave us just some great tips on how to eat healthy at a restaurant, but still make it fun and still be able to enjoy those cheese curds and buffalo wings and all the things that we love. Exactly, all the things that we love about going to a restaurant. And just to put in another quick plug, like Abby mentioned, our homebound meal program here at ADRC is always in need of volunteers. So if you're looking for a great way to volunteer in our community, give back a little bit, over 500 people would thank you because they get meals Monday through Friday from our agency. So call us if you're interested and want to learn more.
And stay tuned for our next episode. We're going to be actually following up with this food segment and going to a farmer's market and show you exactly how those are inspected and exactly what healthy kinds of foods you can get at the farmer's market to make your own meals at home.
Absolutely. So stay tuned for more cafe chats. Find us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, like our channel, and give us some feedback. We're always looking to know what you'd like to hear about in our community. What can we uncover for you and share more about? All right, that wraps it up for this cafe chat. I'm Meredith Hansen from ADRC.
And I'm Chris Kovacic with Public Health. You are awful.
How to make, start over. Sorry.
Hi there, welcome to Grounded Cafe. I am Chris, and that's not what we're doing. We're introducing you guys. Some heroes, period, cut. I had a good part after that. I did. And I also want to thank David. Who is David? I don't know where that was coming from.
Thank you.